the second routine, you're going to need the resistance band, hand weights, and the sliders. So again, paper plates, weights, you can use, just something around your house. I'm gonna take this part out. Okay. So first you're gonna take the resistance band, taking the medium, and basically you're going to lay it all the way on your back. You're gonna place your feet hip distance apart in the resistance band, and you're gonna hold on to each side of the band. You can make it more or less resistance based on how high up you hold. Don't hold it this high, but basically here or down here, it's gonna adjust the resistance also. But basically holding your feet hip distance apart, you're going to lower and lift your legs. Same thing here. Anytime you're on your back, keep your lower back on the ground. No matter what you're doing, keep your lower back on the ground. You never want to arch your back. Keep your core engaged by keeping your back on the ground. I cannot stress that enough. So basically 10 of these. Then you're going to do a frogger. So your heels are going to come together, but your feet are going to stay apart. And then you're bringing your knees in and pushing out. So I'm actually going to hold the resistance loop in between. And then as you're coming in, basically keep your, sorry, to think for a second. As you come in, keep your heels together, but your knees come apart like a frog. One thing I want to mention here is my ankles aren't going very low because I'm keeping my lower back on the ground. So if I were to lower my ankles even more in this move, my back starts to arch. So if you can't go very low to keep your back low or your back on the ground, that's fine. That's what we want. The next thing is going to be leg circles. So here I'm going to put my hands under my hips and then keeping my feet hip distance apart. I'm just circling my legs out for 10. Try to keep your legs straight. And then reverse for 10. Now for 100s, you don't need anything. Basically, you're gonna lie on your back in a tabletop position with your legs, and then your arms are gonna be lifted, and you're going to just pump your arms for 10, and then extend your legs and pump your arms for another 10. That's one set, and you're doing 5 of those. And then back in, go into your next set. Whew. Okay, now we are doing arms, and we'll need our hand weights for that. This is one of my favorite arm series to do on the reformer. So basically I'm just going to mimic those moves with my weights. So basically we're going to do 4 moves. What did I say again? We're doing 4 moves with 3 sets of 10 with a 30-second hold between each. So you're actually going to do the 3 sets of 10 like back to back. So you're not doing move 1, then move 2, then move 3, 4, and then going back to 1. You're doing 1, 3 sets of that, 2, 3 sets of that, 3 sets of that, and 4, 3 sets of that. So for the first one, we're going to start the platter. So elbows in, your elbows are going to be in line with your wrists, holding onto the weights, and you're just extending your arms out and coming back in. So you're serving a platter. on the 10th one, I'm holding for 30 seconds. And then you would keep going back into cirque the platter for 10 more reps. Then you're going to the next move, which is going to be to, what did I say, hug the tree, something like that. So basically arms out and back in, and you're holding the weights up and down. So here your wrists were up and your palms were up. Here your palms are facing in. So 10 of these. We'll hold here. And then into your next set. Okay, for the overhead reaches, you're basically gonna hold your arms in like a football goalpost hold. So your shoulders in line with your elbows, and then an L with your wrists, so like this, and then you're going to be pressing up. See, I'm leaning forward a little bit here too. And then hold here. Woo. Okay, last move here. I promise your arm's gonna break after this, but we're going to do tricep dips. This is why I say don't get the balla bands, because I like these weights. You can hold onto the weight itself. The balla weights, I mean. So basically, your hands are gonna go above your head, and then keeping your elbows close to your head, you're gonna do a tricep extension. And then we'll hold at the low point here. We're gonna go straight into our lunge from here. So again, you're gonna use the slider for this one. Going into our lunge, you're gonna use the slider. So this one, it's going to be different from our scooter, making it a lunge, not a scooter. So basically, your back leg is gonna be on the slider, front leg forward, all toes facing forward, and then basically keeping your back leg straight, you're gonna slide into a lunge. I'll hold at the bottom because I really want y'all to pay attention to the form here. Your ankle is directly in line with your knee, and then your knee is angled toward your hip. It's creating the angle here because you want to lean your body forward, creating an angle here at your hip in the front. Your back leg is going to stay straight the entire time, and I want you to think about a straight line from your back heel all the way through the top of your head. And then as I come up, everything stays straight. So when you sink down, so you're not arching your back, you're not coming down like this, you're keeping yourself bent forward to create that straight line. So you'll do 10 of these. And then on 10, you can hold at the bottom or do little pulses. And when you do pulses, you want to pulse up. So when you're doing these, really think about pressing down on your heel and putting all of your weight into this front leg. Woo. All right, that's one set, and you'll do 3. Okay, keeping with the slider, we're going to do standing inner thigh. So you're gonna keep the slider on the same foot that you used for the lunge, and basically keeping both legs straight, you're gonna slide out and then pull that slider back in. So we're trying to target the inner thighs here. I'm feeling it like all around right here, but same thing as always, only go as far as you can keep your form. So keeping both legs straight here. I'm not going very far. And again, when you bring your leg in, really try to focus on using your inner thigh muscles to bring that leg in. I think that was 10, we'll do 11. And then for the hold, you're just holding that leg out. You're having to work to keep that leg in, trying to keep that leg from just like completely slipping out with the glider. So just really think about squeezing those inner thigh muscles and just bringing everything in here. That's one set. So you're doing 2 more for a total of 3. Okay, from there we're gonna come down into our single arms. I'm going to stay on my knees for this. I need to get a little knee pad thing for my garage because this is kind of uncomfortable. But basically, we're going to do 3 sets of these 4 moves. Same thing, you're doing all of the sets for each move before moving on to the next move. So the first one is gonna be an outward bicep curl. So I'm taking my arm all the way out, my wrist and palm is facing up, and then I'm bringing the weight in for a bicep curl, just like this. This is single arm. So I'm gonna lose count here, but basically we're working on core strength, oblique strength on the one side, and really just focusing on this single arm and kind of having balance without using momentum with both arms. So you'll notice here you really have to kind of use your obliques to stay straight up and not let your body move around, not let that weight control your body. We'll say that's 9. Okay, and then quick break, go into 2 more sets of that. For this next one, your elbow's gonna be in line with your hip, palm is facing toward like your face, and then you're just pressing this weight straight up. So 1. That was 10. One of my favorite things to do with Pilates is like isolate one leg or one arm at a time as opposed to doing everything with both arms. So I do this one all the time on the reformer, just using the resistance straps. This is a great example of how I'm just modifying the reformer routine into a weight routine. So you're almost getting the reformer experience just with a different tool. So for crossbody, you're gonna keep that arm in the same position, and then you're going to you're gonna twist toward, let's say you have the weight in your right side, in your right arm, you're gonna twist to the left side and press that weight straight across your body. So I'm only twisting a little bit through my upper trunk here, but I'm keeping my hips facing forward. You're kind of like punching across yourself. Okay, then you're switching the weight to your other side, and you're gonna do sword pulls. So your palm is going to face the opposite hip, and you're basically going to pull the sword up, press it out, and then keeping that arm straight, come all the way back down. That's 1. Pretty sure I did 11 there. 3 sets of those. We're going to keep with the arms here, and we're gonna grab our resistance band. I'm going to do the light one of these for this. And then basically you're going to put this band around the arches of your feet. And here you can again modify the resistance based on how high you're kind of chucking up on the loop for the band. And basically you're going to, using both arms, keeping your elbows down, you're just pulling the band back. My feet are about hip distance apart here. And then you're going to alternate, or you're going to isolate one side. So I'm going to do 10 here. And 10 on the other side. Now I'm going to alternate sides. Okay. And then we're basically going to repeat everything we just did on the opposite side. Same thing, other side. So going back into our arm series. Sorry. Lifted bicep curl or outward bicep curl. Three sets of those, then your overhead reach. Arm across. And then last but not least here is your sword pull. About when I realized it's kind of like we went up a mountain and we're headed back down. We have our last two moves here. Going into our standing inner thigh, so same thing, glider goes on the other foot, same thing, slider goes on the other foot, and staying straight up, we're going to slide that foot out and pull it back in. Ooh. Can lift that heel on the outer foot as well. Forgot to mention that before. And we'll do little pulses. And then last but not least, we're going into our lunges. Do it this way this time. Okay. 3 sets of those, and you're all done. Again, don't forget to stretch. Thank you for being with me with these videos. We will get better. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great week. Thanks, guys.